You have the little ones.
Thanks, Hartley.
Thank you, Hartley. Good morning, everyone. It is 8:42 on May 14th, 2021, and this is a Master Plan Committee meeting. We'll do a roll call of the members that are on. Karen Clement.
Present.
Bill Rideout.
Present.
Andrea Wood.
Present.
And I'm Kim Craven, and I am here. We are missing today Cynthia Donovan Schuster, Todd Melanson, and Dodd Hayes. We do have a guest, Karen Chapman from MRPC, here with us today. So I will officially open this meeting at 8:43. I do not have any additions today, so we can move into the review of the minutes from April 23rd that Karen had sent over. Does anyone have any questions, comments, additions, deletions?
Cynthia's not here, and with the little ones, I can't do minutes. Can somebody else do minutes, please?
Do I
Bill?
need to repeat that?
No, you do it. I'd appreciate it today.
All right.
Thank you, Bill. Okay. So everyone can review the last ones. Karen, you did a great job, by the way.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. If everyone's had a chance to glance at them, would we have a motion to accept? Or if there's any changes, could you present those as well?
We'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, Andrea. So all in favor. So we will present these as written. All right. So I know on my to-dos, I still have to double check with the conservation. It sounds like, Karen, you were dutiful and followed up on some tasks. So the next topic is the economic development. As we had discussed last time, we all felt that we weren't going to get any anything more from FXM, but I did give it one last try with the Board of Selectmen. We had a bit of discussion about this topic. I've not heard back from anyone. There was a request from Chaz for the marked up document. I did let him know that Beth had that. And it was my belief that it had been given to the planning board already. And just because of file size, I did ask, if he could maybe get that from Beth. I didn't hear back from him. And I did give a detailed accounting of our activities. There was some misconception amongst the chairman of the board of selectmen on dates, thinking that we had got the final document well before we did. So I think when others heard the alignment of when we got the draft and when COVID hit and when we knew that we were going to be reappointed and continued working on it, they really, cumulative time might have been longer, but actual time for us to execute wasn't. I have no idea where that stands, and I don't know, Andrea, if you've heard whether they did or did not end up paying that bill.
I haven't been able to check it out. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We
no
don't have an
worries.
accountant, and and the treasurer is busy. Jim is on vacation, and
Yeah.
it's, it's very complicated at the moment.
Yes, and I feel like we've done everything that we can to go on record that we didn't get it completed, that we'll just use what we can, and move on from there. I think was our agreement last time. There's not much else we can do. So with that said, that is one of the areas of the report that we've got to pull together. I think there's good information in the zoning piece of that. And so I don't know if we want to parcel out in two ways, that, if someone's willing to work with me, sort of in a work session atmosphere of what to pull from the zoning pieces into a summary. And if someone's willing to work with me just a little bit on what information to pull. I'm happy to do the pulling out of the document and construct the document. I just didn't want to go it alone. I started to relook at it, and it's like, well, there's so much that I feel like is left unsaid, and then there's usable information that needs to be explained. It got a little bit daunting of a task to attack alone. So I know all of you have been overtaxed with this, but anyone willing to help a little bit with that?
Well, do you just talk about have a little Zoom session and you'll go through the document and we'll say go, no go?
Yeah.
I mean, I can do that in an evening.
Okay.
But this will not be a public meeting then.
Right. It won't be a public meeting. It's just one that, we can have at your leisure.
So, I mean, some evening, 7:30
Okay.
ish kind of thing.
And do you prefer the front end of the report or the zoning piece?
I think we should do both. I don't know, unless you were looking for somebody else.
Well, I just didn't want to overburden you. I think there might be a citizen that I could call on to help review the zoning with me.
All right.
I don't know what everyone
thinks
thinks
better.
about that.
I know nothing about the zoning rules.
Okay. So I'll see if I can get that person to help a little bit on that.
Can I wave to Karen's little one? Hi there.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, always appropriate to wave to the babies.
Here,
All right,
come up so you can say hi to that one. To this one too. Here. Put your head in there. Put your head in there. Here you go. Here's another one.
Oh, wow. Karen, you're busy.
Yeah, that's only 2 out of 4. No.
And master plan to boot. Okay. Okay, so that will be a big chunk. Then chapter updates. Hopefully everyone saw what I sent over I know we had voted to send them to the master plan, so you all can to the planning board, so you can admonish me for going back into the documents if you want. But one of the things that I'm trying to do is get everything in the same voice, and where different people had written different chapters, trying to get like the sentence structure, the tense all the same. So what I sent didn't change any meaning. It just did that kind of editing. Are you okay not having had the opportunity to read that? Okay, now that to go to the planning board?
I glanced through the changes you made to my document. They seem perfectly fine. They seem, just
Okay.
quality editing, really.
Yeah, I was just thinking, timing wise, that rather than having them focus on maybe language that varies, that we can send it along that way. So, and Karen and Andrea, oh, go ahead, Bill.
Having a single voice ultimately do the editing is always a good idea.
Yeah. So Karen and Andrea, as long as you're okay with that, I'll send the updated ones. If you're not comfortable with that, I will send the old ones. It's up to you.
Well, I think it's much better for you to send the more polished edition, the edited one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I have not been able to do an updated water one yet. They had sent us along a larger report. I was hoping that maybe Dawn would reservice to take that one on, but Karen, is that something that where you had done some of the water pieces, if I run some stuff by you from that bigger report that Beth sent along?
I just
Or
have,
maybe we can,
yeah, no, a question on that though. Why I didn't, or why Todd didn't take stuff from that report originally, because it hadn't been approved yet by the commissioners. So is it really formally approved by the commissioners now, or is it still being reviewed by them? So we took some basic information about the wells, but Todd didn't want to put in anything that hadn't been completely approved yet by the commissioners. So do we know that answer?
that's a great question, Karen. I just was going on, Beth had emailed me the document
Right.
to consider, and I didn't even ask that question. So why don't I check with her? And if it is a positive that we can pull from that, where you're familiar, it would be a serial meeting if I worked on it and then you worked on it with Todd. But maybe first step is if we check in with Todd to see if well, I'll check with Beth, see if we can 100% use the items in there. And then if we can, maybe our first step should be to check with Todd if this thing's up the top of his head that we.
Yeah, because I had wanted to pull stuff from that originally, and Todd was like, no, we can't yet. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Because the law department did send it to me, but it wasn't a final.
Okay. So maybe does it make more sense for you to just ask Beth directly? Yeah.
Well, maybe the water commissioners or
the water. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give them a call. Perfect.
I'll leave that to your hands.
I will do that.
Calling me. So then in terms of what I sent over, in the beginning, somehow memory's not serving me that great, and I glanced around at some notes to try to figure out why we had gone this route. In reconstructing some of the about Townsend, we had taken the nearby towns, and then there was some towns that were out of the area. I think it was because of their population size and demographics that had been integrated into some comparisons. And I think that needs to be fleshed out a little bit. Andrea, where it's a lot of basic information on Townsend, is that something that you can engage in review with me? It's all about like the demographic pieces and things of that nature.
Certainly, I can do that, but I'll need to talk to you more because
yes,
I know so little. I need very specific directions.
Yeah. So if you are comfortable at this point, I will publicly disclose I'm fully vaccinated. So if you wanted to meet one day, even out at the Common, if that's more comfortable, or someplace, at Town Hall, we can take a paper copy, because I think this one requires a paper review, not an online review, because they're going back and forth. And we can run through that, sort of the keeper toss, kind of like what I'm going to do with Bill on the other section.
Okay. Give me the heading of the piece you want me to work on.
Sure. It is the one on page 6 about the town of Townsend.
Fine. Okay. I'll review that this afternoon.
Okay. And then collectively, I think we need to go through the entire document, and you all be my checks and balances of what I've pulled in correctly from different sections, what I've pulled in incorrectly, potentially, or things that have been lost along the way. Because I sent everyone a host of documents a while ago. Remember, I sent like the survey and some other information from MRPC and different resource materials for us. So I think this would be our time to go through on that level, sort of what we had done with the survey itself, to see what we wanted to pull in. And then I think the two biggest areas, when I was kind of delving through it again, is the housing and the natural resources that are in a totally different layout. So because I've been editing more parts of it, I'm happy to do that. To get those into the same type of narrative form as the others. Does that make some sense?
I think that's the best way to go forward.
Okay. And then there's a ton of stuff from the workbook that MRPC sent over that would get put into that section. Then there's the whole discussion of the climate. That is now the area where we don't have anything on. And I think, Karen, that you've hit some dead ends there. Karen, you're on mute.
Blocks are bouncing around, so I keep muting. Since we don't have anything, so do we, I can try, as I said, I can try a sister. That's the only thing that I can think of. And if we still don't get any information, you said he's already met with the Energy Committee, so we'd probably just have to meet with the Energy Committee again if we don't have any information. I don't know a whole lot about energy or what questions I should ask, but I could do this. It's a learning.
And maybe I know it's been a while since he had engaged them, so we don't even know really what's transpired. Maybe they have something that they could share with us at this point. And if you're willing to take that on, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'll keep on trying to work with Dawn, and if I don't get anywhere there, then so I'll get a hold of the Energy Committee, whoever's chair of that. So that'll work. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, don't be afraid to say, if you have a draft of something that you might think we could start with,
with the Energy Committee or with Dawn?
With the Energy Committee.
Oh, okay. Yes, that'd be perfect.
Why have a middleman?
Sorry, try that with Dawn.
But I mean, the Energy Committee, they're committed to it.
Yes, exactly.
So then it's like an opportunity to put things in the master plan. It increases their.
Oh, I think that sounds wonderful. Do you have a paragraph that I can use?
It's called the Tom Sawyer whitewash the fence approach.
Whatever works. All right. Thank you for the suggestion. That'd be great. All right. Thanks.
Okay. So I know that you all have to look at that document, and there's a lot of information. I'm wondering if we keep it just a short meeting, would we be able to, you hear it coming on, would we be able to do another Friday meeting just next week, just for a quick, this is what's missing, or is that something that's permissible to do over email? And Andrea would be my kind of pulse check on that, what we can do on that level out of a meeting.
I know that you can't produce things and expect comments back.
Yeah.
So I'll see what we can do. I'll look at the law and I'll talk. Jim is going to be back on Monday, and I can go over with him on the open meeting law, and I'll go over it with Kathy too, to be sure.
Yeah, I'm just thinking a way to keep us on track. Go ahead, Bill.
If you need to meet like on Zoom, it's less burdensome than having a real meeting.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I agree with that too.
Because what I don't want to do is wait 2 weeks to then hear that a big, wait, there's a big flaw here, or there's a big empty section, and it wouldn't be that someone would have to produce work between now and next week. It's just to keep us moving on any of the gaps. What do you think? Should we put a meeting on the calendar, or hope that we can share that information outside of a
You can
meeting?
have give and take. That's going to be public meeting law, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So is everyone okay for next Friday at 8:30?
Certainly, except I would like to request that if I'm not there, if you'd call me again,
Yes.
because I've been up for a long time and we just got to talking and it just went out of my mind. I'm sorry.
No worries. Karen, is that okay with you?
I'll just keep muting myself next week too then.
Yeah. And I think, these meetings are quicker, so okay. Hartley, may I bother you to check the calendar for next Friday for 8:30? Yes. It is. Yes. Okay. And then I'll, if each of us can then address the sections that we said that would do some outreach, even Karen, if it's not having climate, just kind of see what the pulse of the energy committee is with helping us. And then you could let us know about, whether Todd's available to help with some of that report based on what Beth's input is. And then Bill, I don't know if we'll get on the calendar. I don't know what your schedule's like, but if we can get on the calendar between now and then, we can do a little bit of work. I don't think we'll have it completed by next Friday, but at least we can engage. Andrea, the same with.
I'm confused. You're saying if we can get on we're making it a public meeting?
No, just ours. These are our
Yeah.
separate. We might not have everything complete, but at least we can each commit to read the longer document, see what's missing, do that kind of check-in, so that we keep rolling along here. So that's on our chapter updates and our assignments, our calendar. And then Karen, as I mentioned, I've got to still reach out to conservation for the discussion on the maps, to make sure that there's not any ones that are missing from what we had in the map that you showed us and what might be current with the town. Anything else that you're needing from us, or any updates that you have for us?
So I basically came here today just to check in on the schedule, because I know that you want to get this completed by July. I just sort of wanted to get a sense of what that looks like.
Okay. And so my perspective, love to hear from everyone else. I think we're still a couple weeks away from giving you a document where we're just kind of going back and forth at this point. Is that still okay with your timeline? And does anyone see it differently?
No, that's fine with me. And do you need any data collected is another question that I had.
So there was a few things that were left off the previous DLTA grant. I have those in a list. Maybe I could send those to you with a CC to Beth?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. And it might be that John has it tucked away somewhere. So it would just be maybe asking him if it's there. Because he had given us like an interim presentation, but we didn't really necessarily have a final presentation, because some of the stuff was for us and some of it was for the housing authority.
Okay. See, I wasn't involved in that at all.
Yes, it was prior to. Okay. All right.
That's really only why I came. So, and I don't need to come next Friday either. So.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming. So anything that we've missed for this morning's meeting, that's on the minds of other committee members?
I'm all set.
Okay. Yeah, I think our next couple meetings is a lot more work outside of meetings. And then probably we'll have to plan a longer meeting at some point. I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4 weeks from now to really just tie the document together with what we're doing at this point. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, I think, ultimately we need the big meeting where we go over the whole document as a group.
Yes. Yeah, I just think we're still a little bit away from that, but.
Right.
And then we'll have to decide at that point, how to do that. If we're still doing remote meetings, if it's screen sharing and actual, typing while we're going, or someone just recording all the changes that we might see. All right. So if there's nothing else for this morning, we all have some assignments on our plate at this point. So
Time for my motion.
it is, Bill.
I move that we close the meeting at 9:06.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Karen. So we will close up this meeting. Thank you very much, Hartley. Thanks everyone for getting up early so that we can continue our work. I appreciate what everyone's doing to bring this project to a close. So we will talk soon. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.